Keurigs are a great way to make a fast cup of coffee in the morning, but they aren't perfect. Here are a few things to try when you need that extra oomph to get you up and moving. If you want a large cup of coffee, it would make sense to select the largest size possible, but this often results in a weak, watery cup of joe. There's a hack to making your coffee stronger though, and it involves making your coffee twice. First, choose your preferred coffee pods for brewing. It's best to choose pods with a strong or bold flavor profile to achieve a stronger cup of coffee. Insert the first coffee pod into the chamber, making sure it is properly positioned. Brew the coffee as usual, but use the smallest brew size available. Obviously, this leaves you with a smaller cup of coffee than you might want, but you're not finished yet. The next step in this journey to strong coffee is to remove the used coffee pod from the chamber, add a new one, and repeat the process in the same coffee mug. Now you effectively have two small strong coffees in one mug, which is the same as one large strong coffee.
Oh, I can't stop drinking the coffee. I stopped drinking the coffee. I stopped doing the standing and the walking and the words putting into sentence doing.
This takes a little longer than brewing using a single K-cup, but Keurigs are so quick and simple to use that it doesn't add much time to the process. What you get is significantly stronger than coffee brewed longer with a single pod, so it's absolutely worth it. Did you know that you can buy reusable K-cups? These are effectively K-cup-shaped coffee filters that you fill with the ground coffee of your choice. This gives you the freedom to pick your beans and use high-quality coffee that might not be available in store-bought pods. It's no secret that specialty coffee beans are just better than those found in your average grocery store. When you use a reusable coffee pod, you can spend time picking out the best coffee beans and aren't limited by what's available in K-cup form. Perhaps you like coffee with fruity and flowery notes, or maybe you prefer beans that are rich and chocolatey. Whatever your preference, you can pick your poison. For an even richer flavor, pick whole beans and grind them yourself. With a reusable K-cup, you have the freedom to experiment and create your own coffee blends. You can mix different types of coffee beans, add a dash of flavoring, or even play around with the grind size to suit your taste buds. Not only will you end up with better tasting coffee, but it's also beneficial for Mother Earth. Using a reusable K-cup means you're saying farewell to all those single-use coffee pods. By opting for a reusable pod, you're reducing your carbon footprint and doing your part to keep our planet a little greener.
They're not recycled, they're recyclable!
One way to improve the flavor of your Keurig coffee is to add ground spices. It might not seem like an obvious choice at first, but it's simple and delicious. If you're looking to up your coffee game, adding a dash of ground spices can create a whole new level of flavor and aromatic experience. You can choose to add a small pinch into your brewed coffee, or if you brew with a reusable K-cup, you can add spices to the grounds before brewing. The latter gives you a more subtle hint of flavor, so it's a good idea to experiment with both and see what you prefer. First up, let's talk about cinnamon. This sweet, warm spice works wonders when combined with your favorite cup of joe. You get a tantalizing blend of coffee's rich bitterness and cinnamon's comforting sweetness. Next on our spice tour is nutmeg. This versatile spice brings a delightful depth to your coffee. Nutmeg adds a touch of earthiness and a subtle hint of sweetness, creating a harmonious dance with the coffee's natural characteristics. And we mustn't forget about cardamom. You can add ground cardamom to your brewed coffee or whole seeds or crushed pods to a reusable K-cup. The result? A mesmerizing blend of coffee's robustness and cardamom's vibrant floral notes. The optimal brewing temperature for coffee is between 195 and 205 degrees Fahrenheit. Coffee brewed with water below this temperature comes out weak. Unfortunately, Keurig machines often brew at a slightly lower temperature in the first cycle. This is why you might notice that if you brew 2 cups of coffee one after the other, the second seems stronger than the first. Luckily, there's a way around this: preheating your Keurig. This might sound like a complicated or time-consuming process, but it's actually very simple. All you need to do to preheat your machine is to run one cycle without a pod in it before brewing your coffee. This increases the water temperature, so when you add a pod and brew coffee, it's at the optimal temperature to produce a quality cup.
Oh, hot. Warn me.
Coffee's hot? Sorry, coffee's hot.
Another reason to preheat is to maintain the consistency of your brews. Coffee extraction is a delicate process that relies on a precise balance of time, temperature, and water flow. When your Keurig is preheated, it ensures that each brewing cycle starts from a consistent baseline temperature, which helps maintain a consistent flavor profile in your coffee. Light roast coffee beans are roasted for a shorter duration, letting their natural flavor shine through. It's characterized by its brightness, delicate flavors, and higher acidity. You might be a fan of light roasts when brewed right, but mixing a light roast with a Keurig could be a recipe for disaster. While it's not necessarily a bad idea to brew light roast coffee in a Keurig machine, it can be less than ideal. Keurigs tend to struggle with the subtle flavors of light roasts. They neither have the long extraction time of some drip and pour-over coffee makers, nor the high pressure of espresso machines. As such, they often don't do well at extracting the more nuanced notes of light roast beans. Medium and dark roasts, on the other hand, have significantly more robust flavors. Because they're already bold and punchy, if a few notes are lost in the extraction process, it makes less of a difference. Imagine picking up a K-cup at the grocery store, excited to try out a new blend, but when you get it home, it won't work in your machine. It turns out that it's not an officially licensed K-cup, and Keurig has blocked it from working even though it's the right shape and size. This is the coffee equivalent of digital rights management. Whether or not this is an issue for you depends on the machine you have. Keurig 2.0 machines use this DRM technology, and it means you can't use cheaper unofficial K-cup pods. However, there are a few hacks to get around this. The reason that your machine won't accept your coffee pod is that there's technology in the lid that lets the machine recognize official pods. If you already have an old Keurig 2.0 compatible K-cup, you can cut the top off it and stick it over the unofficial pod you want to use to trick the machine. You can also buy Freedom stickers and Freedom clips that do the job for you. So don't let Big Coffee tell you what you can and can't make in a machine you paid good money for. Hack your Keurig and take the power back. Next time you make coffee with your Keurig, pay close attention to the coffee flowing out. You'll notice that most of it is a deep, robust brown. However, the last few seconds of the flow turn a pale, watery color. Your Keurig might be clogged with coffee grounds during the extraction process, and the dregs could water down what would have been a rich, strong coffee. So what can you do about it? There's no way to stop your machine from doing this, but the solution is simple. Simply pull your mug out from under the dispenser when the flow starts turning watery. This way, you avoid the weak part and the resulting cup of coffee is stronger and more flavorful. You don't even have to worry about making a mess because the reservoir below where your cup sits is designed to collect spills and overflow. Just remember to empty it out and clean it regularly so you won't have any issues. Using the right water can not only greatly impact the flavor of your brew, but also keep your Keurig machine in good working order. Water makes up a significant portion of your cup of coffee, so its quality can greatly affect the final result. By using filtered or distilled water, you're removing any impurities that might alter the flavor and aroma of your favorite beverage. Then there's the health of your precious Keurig to think about. Tap water in hard water areas contains minerals that harden and clog the machine. The filtration process removes many of these minerals. Distilled water is completely free from minerals, so you won't have anything gumming up the works.
Oh, whoa! That's a nasty clog!
Some people recommend using bottled mineral water in a Keurig, but that's a bad idea. Not only is it expensive, but the minerals harden when passing through the pipes and other parts of the machine. This causes it to get clogged more easily, which means more cleaning and probably a shorter lifespan overall. So don't underestimate the importance of water in your quest for the best tasting coffee. Your taste buds will thank you, and your Keurig machine will continue to be your trusty companion, delivering cup after cup of the good stuff. Here's a little Keurig hack that might surprise you: adding a pinch of salt to your cup of coffee. It can actually enhance your coffee experience, so why should you consider this unconventional addition? One common complaint about Keurig coffee is that it can be prone to bitterness, but a small pinch of salt counteracts this. Salt has the ability to neutralize bitterness, creating a smoother and more balanced taste. It's a secret weapon to destroy unwanted bitterness lurking in your cup. And that's not the end of it. Salt can also bring out the natural flavors of your coffee, making them more pronounced and enjoyable. It's a flavor enhancer in the same way that a pinch of salt can elevate the taste of your food. The salt gently coaxes out the subtle nuances and complexities hidden within your coffee. Suddenly, you might find yourself noticing new layers of flavor that were previously hidden. The trick to adding salt to your coffee is not to add too much. You're not trying to season a bland pot of soup or create a saline solution to clean a wound. Just the tiniest pinch in your cup gets the job done. If you're plagued by weak Keurig coffee, the strong or bold setting on your machine is about to be your new best friend. Not every Keurig has this setting, but if you're lucky enough to own one that does, it's a simple route to a better tasting brew. The downside is that it adds around 30 seconds to the brew time, but that's nothing compared to the payoff you'll receive. The strong or bold setting is designed to extract a more robust and intense flavor from your coffee. By selecting this setting, you're telling your Keurig to brew your coffee with a longer contact time between the water and the coffee grounds, allowing for a more thorough extraction of those bold flavors. Another reason to embrace this setting is the higher caffeine content it can deliver. If you're looking for that extra pick-me-up to jumpstart your mornings or fuel your afternoons, the strong or bold setting can help. This can give you that energizing boost you crave. Some people are happy with plain black coffee.
You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
Sometimes they might add a little creamer as a treat, but others are looking for something more indulgent. If you fall into the latter category, there's a way to transform your Keurig coffee into a rich, creamy gingerbread latte with the magic of cookie butter. Imagine a cookie that's spiced with warm flavors like ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. Now take that scrumptious cookie and transform it into a creamy, spreadable form. That's cookie butter for you, a delectable creation that captures the essence of those irresistible spiced cookies. Lotus Biscoff is one big brand of cookie butter made using a popular speculoos cookie. However, you can also find speculoos cookie butter at Trader Joe's and other grocery stores. To make this kind of latte, add a little milk to your Keurig coffee and stir in a tablespoon of cookie butter. It won't be quite as richly milky as a gingerbread latte made with espresso and steamed milk, but the cookie butter adds a creaminess of its own. Since most cookie butter is vegan, you can easily make this latte plant-based by using your choice of non-dairy milk. Nobody wants to add more chores to their list, but it's important not to neglect cleaning your Keurig. Maintaining a clean Keurig is not only essential for a great-tasting cup of coffee, but also for the longevity and performance of your machine. Over time, mineral deposits, coffee residue, and oils can build up inside your machine. These not-so-pleasant intruders can impact the taste of your coffee, leading to a less-than-stellar experience. By giving your Keurig a good cleaning, you'll remove any unwanted residue and keep your brews tasting fresh and delicious. But it's not just about the taste, it's also about the health of your machine. Regular cleaning helps prevent clogs, blockages, and malfunctioning parts that can occur when the buildup is left unchecked. Luckily, it's easy to clean your Keurig by using the company's official descaling solution. You add it to the water tank and then repeatedly run the machine without a pod in it to distribute the solution throughout the machine. Next, repeat this process with clean water in the machine to flush the solution out. You can also do this with a white vinegar solution.